Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Good morning, class.
Good morning.
All right, everybody did their homework assignment last night?
Yes, sir.
We did. You know, this is always my favorite day because everybody always comes in with a smile. They just can't wait to tell their story. So what we're going to do now is we're going to share with the class each and every one of us is assignment and what we ran into in the dealerships. So let me ask you, class, who would like to go first? All right, all right. Why don't we go right here in the front row with Chuck? Okay. We're going to have you go first. Come on up here front and center.
Okay, just let me get my notes here and I'll be ready to rock and roll. Well, yesterday evening at about 7:30, my son and I visited Haley Toyota, which is located on Hull Street. It's a fairly new dealership, and I was very specific as to the kind of information I wanted. I indicated to the salesperson that I wanted some information regarding the Xbox, because my mother owns one. When my son and I got out of the car, and as we were approaching the entrance, a gentleman approached me and he said, "Welcome to Haley Toyota." He said, "My name is, and what's yours?" I told him my name, and he looked at my son and he said, "Young man, what's your name?" And my son told him. Walked us inside the dealership.
Let's stop right there for 1 second. So you actually ran into someone who gave you a proper meet and greet?
That is correct, yes.
Absolutely. Very good. Continue.
And so inside the store, I repeated, that's when I first told him that I was looking for some information regarding the Xbox. I thought it was an outstanding vehicle, and I was looking to save some mileage given the fact that gas prices were sky high. And he looked at me and he said, "I can't help you." And I said, "Why not?" He said, "I haven't been certified on the Scions." And
wow.
So he beckoned to one of the other salespeople there. His name was Jim Zimmerman. And Jim came over and he said, "Jim will help you. He's been certified on Scion." Jim again asked me my name, told him what my name was. He told me what his name was, and he asked my son's name as well. He walked me over to his desk. We sat down, and he began to give me what I call a comprehensive presentation on the Scion. And it was clear to him that I had some knowledge because I mentioned he said, "Do you know anything about the Scions?" I said, "Yeah, I believe that there's the XD, the XB, and the TCI, and also I think there's a IQ." He says, "Yeah, that's true." He said, "The IQ is not out as of yet." He then went to the website and began to show me some of the various models of the Scion online. And he then asked me how soon would I want to, was I thinking about making a purchase? And I said to him, probably about 6 months down the road. And then he said to me, he said, "This car sells for, I think it was $16,000. And he said, "There's no negotiating." He says, "And we do not pressure customers who come into our showroom." He said, "I just want to let you know that." And I said, "You've just hit a hot button with me." He said, "What was that?" I said, "I don't like negotiating deals. I like to be given a price, fair price, and go forward from there." And I gave him the experience of the first automobile I ever bought, which was a Buick Riviera, way back in the day before many of you were even thought about it. It was a green car, had leather interior, and I explained to him that I could actually change the station of the radio by pressing a button on the floor, and once I started the car up, the antenna just went up automatically. Then he said to me, he said, "I feel the same way." He says, "When I go," and I said to him, "When I bought the car, I negotiated for the deal." And I said, "I finally got a deal, but I walked away feeling that, did I get the best deal? Because we're negotiating back and forth." He says, "You don't have to worry about that, Mr. Bradley, with the Scion. This is the price." And he went on to tell me some of the features about the car, some of the standard features, that it came with air conditioning, with outstanding audio. He mentioned the Alpine, also the Pioneer, and he said that these features or accessories were some of the things that you would not find normally in a car, in most cars that were sort of stripped down, so to speak. I'm not sure whether the first gentleman I met was the manager or not. Would I buy from this person? Yes, I would. Probably, I don't like to haggle. I like a fair price. So that would be a reason why I would buy. I was impressed with the fact that he took me to the Scion website. He asked for my email. This man's product knowledge was outstanding. Given the fact that he did not ask some very probing questions, for example, how long I had been looking, he didn't ask me what color vehicle I was looking for. Even though he didn't ask a lot of pertinent questions, he was very friendly, and indicated to me that he and his wife were actually thinking about buying a Scion, but did not buy it because they had 3 small children and a big dog, he said. So he was able to empathize with me on that level, and that was important to me as well. And that's pretty much it. Again, probing questions that you said that we should ask about Jason. Didn't ask those, but everything else on his part.
So you got a good meet and greet. He did that one right. Good body language, eye contact. He welcomed you, introduced himself, asked your name. At what point in time did you get a business card?
I got a business card before. Well, the very important point was he actually they had a Scion on the lot, and it was a used one, certified used. Took me out to it, sat me in it, took me through the various features of the vehicle. So before we actually went out to do the demo, so to speak, he actually gave me his business card.
Okay.
And offered to have me drive the car, but I just did not have enough.
Okay. So he did offer you a demo drive, and you were given a full presentation.
I was given a full presentation, and I would have to say that probably one of the best presentations I had received in a very, very long time, on any level.
Great. Let me ask you, Chuck, is there anything you would have done based upon your training differently that he did?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very important, as we discussed yesterday, to ask questions, to probe. That's me, and I apologize for that. I think it's important to ask questions and get as much information as you possibly can. That was the only area of his presentation that was a little weak.
Okay,
and
so
I think it may have been weak because I was somewhat of an educated consumer, and I knew something about the vehicle. Maybe that's why he decided that he would not do all of the probing, but I still think it was very necessary.
Okay, so let me ask you a few questions to sum it up. You would buy a vehicle from this salesperson.
I would buy a vehicle from this.
You felt that he did a professional job.
Absolutely professional.
You mentioned that you may not be in the market for another 6 months.
That is correct.
Okay, so he nailed the meet and greet. Sounds like he did a fair job of an interview, although not creating a sense of urgency. He did offer you a demo drive, did give you a presentation. His product knowledge was very thorough, but he nailed every one of those steps of the sale, but he never asked you for the business. He never asked you. Now, he maybe possibly could have created a sense of urgency, being that there's a shortage in them. He could have potentially asked, without being pushy, what happens in 6 months? Is there money coming in? Is someone graduating? Are you passing down a car? Someone going to college? What happens in 6 months? Maybe let me put you down for, 90 days to stay in contact with you. Was there at any point in time, did he make reference to a date where he would follow up with you?
Yes, he did. And if I didn't mention that, he asked for my email address and said that he would be touching base with me and about that time frame that I told him that I might be in the market for purchasing, which was about 6 months out.
But potentially there is still, and I know this was a homework assignment and just an exercise, and I did instruct you not to buy a car, but he never really came across the true point of the objection, which is the 6 months. And he so far sounds like he did earn the right to actually at the very end ask you for the business
Yes.
because he didn't skip any steps and he followed every step as he should.
Exactly.
But what he didn't do was maybe ask you for the business or ask if there would be anything that would change the fact of waiting 6 months.
I think you nailed it. He did not create a sense of urgency for sure.
Okay. So it's almost a shame that he did everything else perfectly, a perfect setup, but didn't ask you for the business.
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay.
That's correct.
Given that situation, going through this training, would you feel that you've earned the right at that point in time to maybe ask the customer for the business or try and find out the true objection with the 6 months?
I would, after going through this training, I would certainly try and create a sense of urgency and ask for the business.
Okay. So every now and then we do run into a good salesman that does the job properly, but we're here to what? Sell cars, and that's how we pay our bills, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's give him a round of applause for a great job.